Life Hacks Beyond Convention with Dee and Sonia.
That was one of the times when I did some car camping back in the day.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
And I met this, fascinating, because I just couldn't believe this motorbike that pulled up. It was bikey, and this contraption that he had behind him on his motorbike. So anyway, I couldn't help myself, went over there to ask about it. And he was telling me, like, I just could not believe how this little box thing that he was towing behind his motorbike pulled out into this big tent, and it had, like, they had a fridge on there and all sorts of things. It was just fascinating. I thought things that you can get these days for camping is amazing. So they were self-sufficient pretty much on the motorbike.
Wow.
That was one cool. I don't know. See, I don't know motorbikes, but I know enough to know it was a Flash Harry motorbike.
I've got friends with Harleys that around here, and then I've got a friend up in Queensland who's into BMWs, and he's just done a big road trip, came from Orange down to Adelaide. Didn't get to see them because they were in a group travelling past, but yeah. They're the two main ones.
A lot of people looking at them because it was obvious that their setup was a little bit
different.
Yeah, a little bit different. It's just like, and I'm thinking, just what is it? Anyway, in the end, I thought, no, I'm just going to go and talk to them. And they weren't a bit scary. They did look like bikies.
Yeah.
But they were really nice and really happy to talk to me.
Most of them are. There's this sort of media presentation, or you just see the criminal element of different groups. I remember when I used to drive backwards and forwards across the Nullarbor. I think I've done it 9 times. And one of my aunties said to Mum, "Oh, what about the truckers and the, and the bikies and all that?" And Mum just said, "Oh, she likes truckers and bikies." She didn't mean it like that. But
that's right. She'll be all right. She'll bug down with them.
Yeah. I don't care what you look like. I will talk to you. If I find out then you're an arsehole, then that's you. That's not your group necessarily. And I remember I've got a friend in town that looks like a real, he's the sweetest guy, but he looks full on. It's all black. It's the bandana. It's the whole thing. And I have a cousin's child that's the same. I just walk up and give them a big hug. And I was with a group of people in town, and they all just like, and it's that, "You'll talk to anyone." I went, "Yes, I will," until they prove themselves unworthy. Yeah, and most people are just lovely, especially when you're travelling.
Well, that's it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, like if you talk to anyone travelling, they'll tell you, don't. And I do remember, I can't remember where I was now, probably when I went up towards Queensland. Anyway, I found a bit of a rest area where I could stay, and somebody else rocked up, and they were so helpful because I wasn't quite sure where to go or what to do, like where was space places and where had toilets and whatnot. And they were just so helpful. Oh, well, if you go here, and here,
Yeah. There's 3 questions.
Wouldn't recommend that because, and they give you reasons.
Yeah. 3 questions. Where have you just come from? Where are you headed? And where are you based? They're the 3 questions that come out first in caravan parks and parking bays, anywhere there's campers or caravanners. And the other cultural thing is at caravan parks, around about 4 p.m. is happy hour. And that doesn't mean you get free drinks. It's everyone's settled by 4 p.m. and then they grab their wine, their soft drink, whatever they're consuming, and you meander around and meet your neighbours and have a chat for about an hour. And then everyone heads off to make their dinner. And that is across Australia. Everywhere we've been, it's been that same kind of culture. And and like you said, if you don't know something or you're struggling with an issue in the van or the tent, there's always someone that's come across an answer.
Yeah, they're really good. They're really
Yeah.
good. They don't have much patience though. If you're towing, they don't have much patience if you don't know how to back
Oh,
and
yes.
things like that. It's like, nah, if you don't know how to back your own caravan, then sorry, mate, you shouldn't be driving it. Shouldn't be towing.
Yes. And one of the
So they're not
problems
very
is,
helpful with helping you to learn those skills sometimes.
no, they tend to be amused and sit and watch
Mm,
for a while.
mm.
And friends just came back from a trip, and more caravan parks are either insisting that they direct you. So there's somebody there, and they're calling them marriage savers. So the person that tells you how to direct the caravan, how to back the caravan in, is called a marriage saver. And either they'll do that or they'll say, give me your keys and I'll
Oh, well,
do it
that's
for
good
you.
because if I were towing, like I am not very good at backing.
I struggle. I'm better with the caravan than I am with the float because I can see its change in angle quicker.
Mm,
But yeah, I wouldn't try and back our caravan into a caravan park.
mm.
Um,
Oh, the
yeah.
people that can do it though, man, they're so good.
Oh,
Like
yes.
I look at some of those huge monster
Yeah.
trucks and that, and they've got however many trailers,
Yeah, I
and they
know.
can back them,
Yeah.
and they'll only be this much, either side, and they
Yeah.
can get it in. I just think
Yeah.
that is skill. I take my hat off to the skill that
Yeah.
they really
Yes,
admire it.
Tony is absolutely effing brilliant at it.
Mm,
He can
yep.
back anything, anywhere, around a bloody corner. It
Mm,
just, I'm in awe of his skill, and others are too. And so we've
mm,
got a friend who has a little caravan and a very small shed. And sometimes she's learning, but if she's really struggling, she'll ask Tony. And I'm lazy. I've got to the point if I do bring the float home, I say, honey, will you? Although I
yeah.
keep
Well, why not?
practicing.
It's just we
Yeah.
utilise each other's skills.
Yeah. Well, he backs our big truck and trailer into the shed, just drives around, and then just it's amazing to watch.
Mm,
You just
mm.
um and he's good at directing people too. So when I do come home with, say, the trailer after delivering hay, he'll come out from the house and just go, okay, left, yeah, left,
Yeah,
down, right, down, whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but it
Well,
is
and if you've
a
got someone who can do that and they're patient, then you
mm,
actually start to understand what they're telling you then, and so you start to
yes.
feel for it, and that's how you learn, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's right. Yeah. But when he's not around, I try and do it myself because I still need to be able to achieve it at some point on my own. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah, it's a mental skill, and it's high functioning. Yeah. So, and he's driven all sorts of machinery too. So, small equipment to do spreading stuff and that, and big machinery as well. So he's used to using levers and stuff like that as well. So that's all the skill. I
One of
remember
the
he did.
skills that blows me away is crane drivers.
Oh yeah. Mm,
Like the stuff that they can just get these things up and into really intricate
yeah.
places, and you think when we had some stuff going on at one of the big, they're doing something in town.
Mm.
It was like, oh, I didn't want to go on because you'd see this crane up there with this huge thing, and you think, I don't want to drive on that street because what if it drops on my head? No more Sonia.
So don't watch any of those videos of cranes falling over.
No, no. But honestly, the skill like of the good crane drivers, like
Yeah,
it's a bit like the ones that can do the backing with,
it is.
huge machinery and trailers and
Yeah.
yeah. Just think,
It's that situational thinking and 3D
mm,
visualization.
well, and they must
So
have amazing depth perception.
yes, that too.
Mm,
Yeah. Tony did some work at one of our doctors at Clare, his home, years and years ago. And um, and the doctor just watched him and afterwards he said, you are so mentally fit to do that. Yeah. So Yeah.
Mm. Well, I'm not a good backer.
Me. Yes. And I have been in caravan parks where there's been that, yeah, screaming and carrying on. But people don't learn to do it. They go and get a caravan, and older men will go off and just think they can do it. And they're not even good at handling the extra weight, or realizing how to handle it if the thing goes a bit,
That's it. There's a
um,
lot of skill in all sorts of things like that, isn't
yeah.
there? Mm.
If you hit the brake too fast, it's going to sway. And the best thing you can do, if you're able to, is accelerate to pull it out of that. But the thing is, it usually sways if you've got the weight wrong. And oh, this is just constant if we're together. Oh, that one's off. That's off an angle, because if you've got the caravan pointing down, you're essentially putting too much weight on the back of the car, and your steering's at the front. How can,
That's it. So you've got
yeah.
to understand the weight distribution in whatever
You
it is you're
have
towing.
it
Yeah.
has to be level. And
Mm.
of course the tow hitches don't accommodate that. There are some that do, where you can set them differently, but you need to know your stuff. I think there should be another qualification within the driver's license to do it, because
Well,
we
that's the
just,
point.
yeah,
You don't even have to be qualified to go and
no.
yeah, tow, do we? Well, I
So
always
you,
thought because I did actually buy a caravan. So I bought a
mm,
caravan, started
mm.
doing some work on it, and it didn't ever leave my yard. And I realised that it was never going to leave my yard. So I sold it again. But
Good.
what I planned to do was go and get lessons. But I had to go to Geelong for the lessons in how
Mm.
to tow a caravan and how to back a caravan, etc.
Yeah.
Because I just wasn't confident, because they're so much wider than your car, whereas the
Mhm.
horse float we had wasn't. Like I just
Yeah.
didn't. You think that if I could tow a live animal on a horse float, you think that I'd find a caravan a breeze, but I
It,
didn't.
I think it's a size perception more than anything. People do worry
I
about
take it out there
size.
and it just feels so big, and I did
Mm.
not like it. And
I've
I had,
had a
and the
lot of.
one that I got wasn't even a big caravan. Like, it was one that
Mm.
folded down. And the
Oh,
reason I did
yes.
that was because of the size, because I knew that I was a bit spooked by size, but I just had this.
Mm.
I get these ideas sometimes. I just had
Yeah.
this idea that, hey, they'll be good at towing. Because I see I met this lady on one of my car camping trips. She was in
Yeah.
her 70s,
Yep.
and she had an old station wagon and this caravan that she was taking everywhere. Anyway, I chatted to her for ages, and she's just like, "You'll be right. Like, I've been doing this for years." And she actually
Yep.
basically lived in her caravan, and she
Yeah.
put all her stuff in storage. She was saying that she thought she'd have to go back and get a unit because there was something that had happened in the family, so she did need to go
Mm.
back to her home base again. But she'd been years just with this caravan going wherever she wanted to go.
Yeah.
And it was like, I thought, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
Well, I got the caravan and then I sold it again.
If you want to learn how to have the confidence with a large vehicle, go for a small truck license.
Yeah,
It'll cost you more, but it'll get, yeah,
I think I've come to a point where I just don't think it's
not
me.
gonna. Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
I
Yeah.
think I do keep thinking maybe I'd like a van, because when I had my SUV, that was super for car camping. That was
Yep.
really good. There was plenty of room in there for me.
Mm.
I remember when I used to have the Tarago, which was so different to the Taragos now, because the
Mm.
Taragos now are more like a passenger vehicle, whereas back in the day, the 90s one that I had,
It
that
was
was
a
one of these,
delivery
like the
van.
high ace vans
Yeah.
with seats in it. So,
Yeah.
and I think, well, I really enjoyed that. So I'm thinking maybe I'll get a van and do,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I like having everything all contained. It's just all there,
Mhm.
and I'm in control of it all.
Yep.
I must be
Yeah.
a control freak, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
A
there's just something
friends.
about it. It's just all here. It's all small. It's all snug, and
Yeah. To me, they're like a cubby house, like
Yeah,
your
exactly.
child's mind about a cubby house.
Maybe that's what
I
I
got
like
to,
about it. Maybe I just feel like, oh, I'm in my own little cubby house.
yeah, that's how I see it. Yeah. And I see that about those tiny homes as well. I just think it'd be so nice to not have to, yeah. I lived in a caravan in the, yep, 80s. Yeah, early 80s, I think, very early 80s, might have been late 70s. So, yeah, that was a 16-foot caravan. That was quite tiny.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I remember probably in the 90s at some stage when we were doing a fair bit of camping with the kids. There was a couple of caravan parks that were just lovely. And I just think, maybe if I could come at living in a caravan park one day, because they're just nice. They've got all the, like, they've got these lovely grassed areas that you don't have to mow.
Mm.
They've got
Yeah.
pools that you don't have to maintain. They've
Yep.
got toilet blocks that you don't have to clean.
Yeah.
There's just, and they've usually, and these days they're even nicer than they were back then.
Yeah.
And so,
And if you're on a pension, you get rent assistance because you're still having to pay your weekly amount. Yeah. And your
yeah,
power's
because it's classed
included
as a
and your
rental
water's
cover,
included.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's, yeah. I think we'll see more and more people living in those kind of, well, I guess they're setting up retirement villages like that too, like with small
Well, I kind
transportables.
of think I wouldn't mind living in a retirement village, but most of the ones here that I've investigated are not rentals, they're buy-ins.
Oh, yeah. So low end
And well, I haven't
buy-in, I
got,
guess.
yeah, I'm not going to buy in. You're not going to be able to
Mm.
buy into a place, so I
Yeah.
have to go into a rental one. But I do quite like the community atmosphere.
Yes.
I quite like the fact that you can be completely isolated if you want to be, but
Yes.
but I don't know. But you know your neighbours, and if you want to
Yeah.
interact with them.
Mm. And you've got that overall security of a management team that are keeping an eye on behaviours or who's got access or, yeah.
Well, and often they're gated communities, so you kind of feel a bit safe.
Yes, that's, yeah.
Yeah. And the community centres, often they have things there that you can do.